Hello, I'm Lisa Rafel. I want to share with you a short story about communing. I was in Mongolia. I've actually been there twice. I was invited to present at a shamanic conference. And the second time we were there, they were so kind and wanted to bring me out to a wonderful place, which was the original birthplace of Genghis Khan, which was called Erden Zoo, which is now a monastery. And so before we went, we stopped at one of the shaman's um, family farms where they were so joyous and celebrating and calling in spirit. And part of calling in spirit is to throw out milk in the four directions and to drink vodka and to place this beautiful scarf around everybody and to drink vodka and to really have a lovely, lovely time and to drink vodka. So we started in the morning, and by the time we were sober enough to drive out to Erden Zoo, we didn't get started till the afternoon. And it was a long drive. And as the sun was finally going down around midnight, my husband said through the translator to the driver, it would be really important to slow down. Now, the roads in this area of Mongolia going across the Gobi are not roads, they're dirt paths that have been traveled many times. So they look like a road, but it's kind of like spider webs going across the tundra. And you really have to know where you're going. And our driver knew where he was going, and he was confident, and he was going pretty fast. And so my husband said, well, in Mexico at night, when it gets dark, you have to watch out for cows on the road. And the driver laughed and said, no, it's fine. And I was nodding off to sleep, and the next thing I know, we hit a cow. And it was a white cow. And there was a crash and a screech. And out of the darkness of the desert came this young boy on his bicycle to check out what had happened. And I'm asking our translator, what will we do? And she said, no problem. We have tents in the car. We'll camp and it'll be fine. And the boy assesses the situation. He leaves. And then a woman comes back and it's her cow. And she negotiates with the driver the price of having killed the cow, and the cow was pregnant, so the driver paid for both cows. And then she insisted that we walk across this beautiful field to get to her daughter's house where we would spend the night. And I say a beautiful field because the ground was covered in a kind of sage-like material, and when you stepped on it there was this wonderful aroma. And I had my flashlight with me, and the woman said, turn off the light. And there we were in the Gobi under the most extraordinary black sky, with the Milky Way like a brushstroke of white paint across the sky, and there was no moon. It was bright enough from the stars. And we walked across this long field, and it was easy to see the brush and the bushes, and we got to the house, and her daughter immediately, there were two men sleeping on the floor. She immediately asked them to leave. She put her children on the floor. She gave her baby, who was in a sling, to our translator. She gave us her bed, and she started making us soup. And this is 1:30 in the morning. And she's offering us fresh yogurt. We went to sleep that night, woke up in the morning. She was making breakfast. The children were outside playing. And I wanted to offer something in gratitude. At the same time, the car which had hit the cow, which no longer had a radiator, which was completely banged in, where the metal, and it was a Toyota Land Rover, the metal was completely bent up. They had rolled it over to now where we were near this woman's ger, which is like a yurt. And they were taking the car apart and throwing all the nuts and bolts and everything on the ground. And my husband is busy saying, don't you want to line these up so you know where they go? And they're laughing and they're saying, no, 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 it's fine. And they're taking apart the engine. And they had called, the driver had called his wife and son, who lived back in Ulaanbaatar, and which was, 10 hours away. And they were driving it out the next day. And so they took us to a little ger camp, which was wonderful and beautiful. Before we left for the ger camp, I had a chance to really visit with the woman's daughter and to play with the children. And I had some crystals and trinkets, and I knew, because I had read, that you don't offer money. It's very insulting to do that. It insinuates that they don't have enough. And the Mongolian people are extraordinarily kind and generous and respectful, and they would never do anything to insult you, nor should you do anything to insult them. And so I knew that, and so I gave them these trinkets in gratitude, and I said, so what can I do to help you? And the woman said, just tell the world about us. Tell the story. So I'm sharing with you this story of these beautiful people, so kind and funny and attentive and thoughtful. And how we had the chance to commune, to really share an experience of heart and love and respect and kindness. So I hope you have a chance to, with some stranger somewhere, give that kind of kindness, which I do all the time now. I did before, but I'm really aware now of the respect also, to assume people know what they're supposed to know, to take that into account, to not try to correct someone, to not try to improve them, but to really be present with who they are.